So hey, welcome back again, and this is me to do hacks, and this is kind of not some kind of hacks videos. And so in this video, actually we are going to hack the access specifiers. That's so basically we're clearing the concept of defined access specifier that's available in Java. So we know there are four type of access specifier available in Java. So first one is private, second one is default, and third protected, and fourth is public. Okay, so now let's talk about these four access specifier and how we can actually implement in our program to clear out the concept of these access specifiers. Okay, so let's start this. So what does private access specifier? So private access specifier says that this is the most restricted access specifier. Okay, so if any member of a class that is marked as protected, so that can only be accessed within the class, not outside the class, or not out within the package, not outside that package. Okay, so that's it. So now let's declare for understanding, let's declare these four access specifier. Okay, so default access specifier with the has no name, so let's declare our first access. So this is our private private void. Let's create a method, so that's name is our private appearance private function. So private function, and we are just simple we are just going to simply system.out.println. We will just do it system.out.print or using any kind of thing. So we are just going to use system.out.println, and we are just write this is private function. Okay, so this is our private function. Okay, so this is what public, and you can see already the method private function from some blah blah blah. Don't focus on this, or we will extend this. Okay, now we're just going to declare our default access modifier. So we can simply write void void default fau. Okay, default function, I can see default function, and we can just simply copy these. Okay, now paste this. So this is our default this is our default function. Okay, now same cheese. Let's copy this and create another thing, default function, and this will be our protected void. Name this our protected function, protected function, and this is also be our protected function. So void protected function, and we just create another public function that will be our public public void public function, and this is our public function. So basically we actually created this class within the name package 0. Okay, so this is our protected void private function, and this is our default function. This is our protected function. There is a public function that has the public access modifier. So basically this is our four function that has the defined access specifier. One is private, void, protected, and public. Okay, now let's see. Let's create let's little zoom out, and I hope all you can guys see. Okay, so now create another class. Let's create a class private that from this class we are going to actually access all these access modifiers. Okay, so all these access modifiers that has been declared in these functions. Okay, so let's create our main function as static main public static sti public static void main, and we just this is our string, and then just args. Okay, this is strings args. Okay, now let's create an instance of example. So this is our example example1 equals to our new example. Okay, now let's focus on the main things that you have to focus here. So let's get a little show. Okay, now if we want to access this private function, we just if we just write example1 dot, and you can see if we just write private or private function, if you private function, okay, Now let's see, and you can see the private method from the example is not visible. You can see our ID is telling that this method private function is not example is not visible because the what I've said, because private is the most restricted access specifier in Java, and this can be called within the class. Okay, now let's say, now let's if we so this is our one public class example, and this is another class driver. Okay, now so now how actually we can access this private function? So we can actually so let's implement this inside this function, this private function, and you can see there is no error. And if we if we remove this and we just type example one dot our public function, and we can access that, even that we can access our public function example one dot our so what default function and example one dot our protection function. So basically you can see that we can access these three function from different classes, class driver, but we can't access this private function from our different class. Okay, so that's it. Now if we run this program, the output we see, you can see this is public function, this is private function, this is dual function. Okay, let's see how we're getting this is private function, because we call this private function here void default function from example. So our default function is called, first default function is called, and then the private function is called, and then our system will print this default function. So private functions output will be print first, then our default function will be printed. So that's default function. Okay, so now you have cleared the idea that private function can be accessed within the class, within the same class. Okay, so this is a private function. Now let's go to our example for Java. Now here we will talk about the default and protected mode. So what these default access specifier says in our books or whatever, wherever you read. So default access specifier says that the default access specifier can be accessed within the package in which it is declared, but not from outside the package. Okay, so we can access default access specifier from this example to and within this hero package. Okay, we cannot access a default access specifier in example 3. Let's see. And so first we have import our package hero, import hero.all from our, and we have extended the class example 1. Okay, now let's create a main method here, public public. Okay, wait a second, I should have to copy from this. Let's copy this. This is our example 3.java, and let's paste this example 3. Okay, now you can see these errors. We can access the public function because public function can be accessed from anywhere, and it does not care from where you are calling. Okay, so that is totally public. And but when we want to try that default function, and you can see that the method default function from the type example is not visible because this is a default function, and this is can be visible only within the package itself. Okay, now if we go back to our example 2.java, and if we paste our main method here, you can see there is no error. We can access our default function and protected function also, and public function also. Okay, but we cannot access example 1 dot our private function. Private function cannot be accessed if it is outside the package or outside the class. Okay, so private function can only be accessed within the class. So this is not giving any kind of error. Okay, now you can see that default function, protected function. Okay, basically default function, but for the protected function, now I'm going to talk about the protected function. So protected function has same kind of functionality about default function, but in books it says that the protected access specifier is similar to the default specifier, but it allows subclasses to access the member even if they are in different package. So what you can see that example 3 is in different package, and example 3 is subclass of example. So here's the trick. If we just create, so first we have to create the instance using the subclass. So example 3.ex1, and this is a new example, Here is example 3. Now you can see that we cannot access default function, but we can access the protected function. Why? Because example 3 is the subclass instance of example, and what's the book says? Our book says that the protected access specifier is similar to the default specifier, but it allows subclasses to access the member even if they are in defined package. So you can see that this is hero2 example 3 is in defined package, and you can see, and we are extending the example out. But what if we remove that example? You can see that we are getting the error. Okay, so we have to extend the example. Okay, because can use the example. Okay, so that's all the basics things. Hope you understand this, and if you have any kind of confusion about this kind of access specifier, you may comment in this video. Hope you like this video. I think you have understand what is the difference between private, default, protected, and public method. Okay, if you have any question, make sure you comment in this video. Okay, so bye bye, thank you guys, see you soon.